Hello, OSC. I am LightNeon11, a fellow member in this community. As you may or may not know, BFDIA 20 was released very recently. This is where I get to the spoilers, so I'll give you a little time to click off if you have yet to see the episode. Okay, now that that's done, I'd like to get to the point of this message. I want you to dislike Coiny's video in BFDIA 20. Liking pins is unnecessary as long as you don't dislike her either. I'm not doing this to force anyone to vote a certain way. I just like to give people an idea if they haven't yet decided who to like and dislike. I've been inspired by several other OSC creators, and I decided I want to stand up for my favorite character. Now, I don't want this to be so biased, so I want to give pros and cons for each character's possible outcomes. The pros to keeping Coiny are that his sacrifice in the episode would be meaningful, he'd be one step closer to winning, which could be the reason why he loved BFDIA so much, and we could also see more of Leafy's influence on his aggression. You know, like how he was throwing the knives at everybody. The cons to keeping Coiny. Coiny doesn't really have any interesting dynamics with anyone in the season apart from Needle and Leafy like I just mentioned. Coiny has taken down the biggest threat in the game. Now what? That's essentially greater than winning. Now there's nothing left to do with his character. Coiny would have stayed in the game through his own lies, because he says that Pin was never grateful for what he did for her.
Secondly, I put in so much effort into making sure that you were okay this season, and it's like you don't even care.
But that's definitely not true, considering Pin thanks him in BFDIA 15. Now, on to the pros and cons for Pin. The pros to keeping Pin having survived against Coiny's sacrifice would be very cool, considering she blatantly said he risked being eliminated just to take her down. If he got out in spite of what he did, it'd also be very interesting for their relationship, almost as if Coiny tried to teach Pin a lesson, but in the end, he failed the class. Pin has interesting dynamics with Needle, seeing how Pin had a grudge against her for betrayal, and Book, which, do I even need to explain? Leafy also sees that she and Pin are in very similar situations, and seeing the two finally directly interact, especially in this case, would be so peak. Tennis ball is unrelated, but 3 out of the 4 is better than 2. This puts Pin a step closer to winning. I know what some of you are thinking, we don't want Pin to win! But to that I say, I have seen many concepts where if Pin won and was awarded with a crappy farm, she'd realize she pushed everyone aside and burned so many bridges just for the farm. She realized that she gained nothing but lost so much, and in turn, this would work for her arc and realizing she messed up big time. Now, the cons to keeping Pin are that Coiny's sacrifice from earlier would basically give the idea that no matter how hard the other contestants try on their own, they can't beat Pin. Coiny's elimination might only make Pin stronger and make her determined to dominate the rest of the game. And Coiny attempted to get Pin out, but in the end he got himself out and kept Pin in for everyone else to deal with. Now that I've given you the pros and cons, consider them, think about them, and if you agree with the pros of it and can set aside the cons, then let Pin live! Even though I'm on one side, I'm letting you choose, while also persuading you to join it. You don't have to, but I would be very happy if you did. Alright, bye everyone. This was LightNeon11.